Cooking like a pro is so easy with Pro Seasoning. This is my company. I started it from the ground up. It's called Pro Seasoning. My all-purpose spice is made with Himalayan pink salt. There are no anti-caking agents other than ground up rice. It's all natural. It's made with really high quality ingredients and it's small batch. My steak seasoning is called Pro Seasoning Steak. It's made with porcini mushroom. It has chunks of Himalayan pink salt, cracked black pepper, shallots, porcini mushroom. It is my opus to a great steak. Pro Seasoning Barbecue is made with coffee. It's got a little bit of cinnamon in it. It's got sea salt. There is nothing like it on the market. I can guarantee you that. I also have gochugaru flakes. I have really cool stuff like vinegar powder. Check out my website, chefnikki.net, and order today. Do you want to talk about food? I want to talk about food. Let's talk about food. What else are we going to do? We got nothing else to do. Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Nikki Talks Food. I am your host, Nikki Patinio. My guest today has amassed upwards of 200,000 followers on TikTok and has loved cooking since the age of 4. She also spends her days as a consultant for small business. I am so thrilled and honored to welcome Sarah Olson from My Butch Kitchen.
Hey, Nikki, thanks for having me.
No, it's really a pleasure having you on. The TikTok algorithm basically served you up to me for obvious reasons. You know, sometimes the algorithm, it can be like really funny, you know, it's like kind of like throws something out and you're like, what is that? And you just bat it down. But then every once in a while a gem like you comes along. We're of similar age. We kind of have like a similar aesthetic and,
For sure.
and we both love food. So it seems to be like a match made in heaven, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It was when you popped up, I was surprised that I hadn't seen you before.
Yeah. I don't, you know, I go through waves of TikTok, my TikTokedness, because it just gets so like overwhelming. Really, if I really like just like focused on one social media, I probably would be more successful in like growing my reach. So I love the concept of what I loved about learning about you and seeing your concept was I loved the that you like lean into your butchness, which for people Gen X queer people, butch was the term that we used for like what the kids call mask presenting lesbians. And I have to say, like, how dare they? How dare they? The kids don't know that Sarah and I, she in another state, me in Florida, simultaneously at the same time we're fighting the fights to, you know, pave the ways to be butch women. Like we just were like we're going to be us and that's it. And now these kids come along and this term, I just can't even really say it like mask lesbian. It sounds weird. What do you think about this term?
To me, you know, so the term mask itself, it doesn't offend me. You know, it's like boomers with technology. You know, we definitely have to learn, we have to evolve. You know, there's a place for these things.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's history behind butch.
Yes.
There's history behind the evolution of the queer community and queer spaces. And it's an identity that I think a lot of folks are shying away from. And I think it's strictly because they don't understand the history.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I really want to hold on to that. And really want people to know that butch is not a negative term.
I mean, we're borderline historians here, you know?
Which is wild. Which is wild. I never thought I'd be this old.
I know. We're here. Our back hurts every day. I'm assuming. I know mine does. I'm sure yours does too. Like, you know, arthritis settling in. I got reading glasses now. I have separate glasses for the computer to put them on. Okay. So we're just people of a certain age. You know, I don't really get offended by the term mask. It just doesn't feel natural. It just doesn't feel like a comfortable. At first I was like, it gave me the ick.
Yeah.
You know, it gave me the ick. I was like, what? And now I'm like getting more and more like comfortable with that term, you know? So, but yeah, the kids just need to go out there and they need to rent Bound. and they need to watch, was it Foxfire with Angelina Jolie.
And they need to read Stone Butch Blues.
And they need to read Stone Butch Blues, which I've never even read. What is that?
Oh, it talks about the Stonewall Inn in New York City and the riots around it. So it's actually a huge piece of queer history.
Love it.
And it's a foundational text in any queer studies course.
Love it.
So I highly recommend it. But
yeah,
me, Mask just feels like yesterday's Town Boy.
True. Yeah, it is just it's a repackaging of Tomboy, I guess. Yeah,
I mean,
in a way.
That's kind of how I see it. I don't know. It's just I feel like, I've always identified as Butch, and since I was, they called me Baby Butch when I was in my teens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, my cousins, when I was like 7, and they'd be like, "You're so Butch."
Yeah.
It's just and then, at first it was like people weaponized it, and maybe that's why the kids became uncomfortable with it, but really, it became, I feel like in the 90s, early 2000s, we just kind of made it okay. And then you find your tribe as a queer person. You find your people, your chosen family, and then you realize, you're not so alone in this world. Did you have that same kind of like experience?
I did. And, I always joke that in college I was raised by drag queens.
Preach.
And
So college, okay, this like really like makes me happy. So was there like a serious like drag culture in the town where you went to college, or tell me about that experience?
So I started out at the University of Iowa, and at in my dorm there was his name was Dan, and he was a gay man, and he also did drag.
Dan.
He and I,
bless you, Dan.
He and I became fast friends.
Of course.
And he performed at the bars in Iowa City. Yes, I'm not sure now because I haven't been to the queer bars.
Right. It's been like 25 years.
And they were, back in the day, they were in families.
Yes. Drag families.
Yep.
Yes.
And I think
that's still kind of.
It was the House of Love and DeParis Productions.
Productions?
Yep. And Shout out. He was, his drag name was Dee DeParis.
Oh.
And so I spent a lot of time with the drag queens because I had, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. It was not okay for me to be gay. So I did not come out until like officially until I left home. It had nothing to do with my parents. It was just what I derived to be a safety thing in Farmtown, USA. But the drag queens, they took me under their wing, and I learned everything I needed to know.
Yes.
With these, 20-something-year-old drag queens. They were phenomenal humans.
Did they make you feel more comfortable about being you? Did you see yourself like kind of blossom as a person, and then maybe become a little bit like what take me back to that time and walk us through like how you felt on the inside?
What I found so like, what was the game changer for me is it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It was just natural.
Yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of gay folks being together in their gayness.
Yeah.
And that was the, later on you found out that you have other similarities and whatnot, but that one defining factor brought all of us together, and it just created this safety.
Yeah.
And in a fight, I would choose a drag queen over almost anybody. And
I agree.
Always felt safe.
Yes.
It just wasn't a thing. Like, you could talk about who you're going to go on a date with, or who you thought was attractive, and it was just natural, because up until then I had been surrounded 100% by straight folks.
So in a sense, this allowed you to kind of have less stress about existing in this world and just kind of move about the cabin a little bit more freely.
Absolutely. And I got in drag and I got on stage with them a couple times too.
You did? As drag king? What's your name?
I was the ladies' man.
The ladies' man. What was your song?
Oh, so I just performed with them, whatever they need, a male, you know.
Right. So you like, you did
I didn't go by myself a whole lot. I did I'm Too Sexy by myself once. I did.
Perfect.
But a lot of times I was just, you know, they called me their arm candy.
Yeah. Yeah. You were the guy.
Yep.
Love it. My my drag name is Butch Rhinestone.
I love it. I love it.
Butch is a almost like a George Michael / Dave Gahan, like, you know, greasy rocker. Like that is Butch. It's fun, like dressing up in drag. You know, I did my last episode of Nikki Talks Food. I did like a Halloween episode and I was dressed as Beetlejuice, but I consider that drag, you know? Yeah. Like it's like RuPaul says, like, you know, you're born naked and everything. The rest of it is drag, you know? I want to kind of like circle back to your handle on TikTok and a lot of your social media. So we talked about My Butch Kitchen. I don't know if I mentioned it. Yeah, My Butch Kitchen. So My Butch Kitchen is your handle. And did you ever have like a time where you thought, you know, maybe I shouldn't use Butch as my handle, or did you kind of know, like, you know, if I build it, they will come? Like eventually, you know, a person like me is going, the algorithm would probably serve someone like me up, and we would be like, you know, have like kindred spirits. Like, do you have a lot of Butch women followers and, you know, that kind of stuff? Or were you like, you know, I don't want to, you know, pigeonhole myself into this? What was that thought like?
So my only concern, so I started this in 2020, as a lot of folks did during COVID. And my only concern was the negativity from folks that were homophobic, quite frankly. Yeah. You know, that was my fear. I'm just like, what am I opening myself up for?
Yes.
But then I thought back to Baby Gay Sarah. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's visibility matters.
Yes.
And I'm a big girl. I can handle, you know, if somebody wants to be negative, I can handle that. And I just thought it was really important to be truly authentic and just throw it out there, because it's just not out there enough. You know, some folks have, you know, I appreciate the rainbows and whatnot that they have in their profiles or bios or names or whatever. But there's no doubt who I am.
I think that matters. I think that matters when you're connecting with your audience. And I think that, yeah, like you said, authenticity matters. And if you're wearing a mask, people can tell.
Yeah.
You know? And so bravo or brava to you for, you know, just being you and putting out what you think, you know, people want to see. And even if it's something that you're like, I don't know if they want to see this, I'm just going to put it out because I enjoy it. I feel like your people come, you know? So how did you like, so you have like over 200,000 followers. How did that happen? Like, what was the progression to that? Because those are some very big numbers. And now you're probably in a position where you have like sponsors and stuff. So part of the topic today is how to use social media to grow yourself. And, you know, you're like a really great example. You got authenticity going for you. You know, you're constantly putting out, you know, content. How did you grow to such a large number?
I think there was just it was just relatable. So during COVID, my wife is a nurse, and I started by showing me making my wife food each day for when she went to work. So if she worked 12-hour shifts, I couldn't take her anything to the hospital because, of course, the hospital's continuously on lockdown, like I used to. And so I would make a day's worth of food. And, you know, what I said is, you know, I made a day's worth of food in less than 15 minutes. So I would put together um, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would show how I do it. And quite literally, I'd show the time snap of this is when I start, this is when I end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was something that was relatable. So taking care of, somebody that I love, taking care of a healthcare worker.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just that ability to relate in a crazy time
Yeah.
that really kicked things off. My first video that went viral was me baking bacon. I
Something so
kid you not,
simple.
it was just unbelievably simple. And then people started going back through my other videos, and that's where the followers came. And strangely enough, the TikTok provides you with a whole bunch of analytics,
Yeah.
and the 40 to 55-year-old women are my main demographic,
Yeah.
and the lion's share, the most concentrated, is in the state of Texas. Believe it or not.
What?
Believe it or
That's crazy. So are you doing some Texas content like Texas sheet cakes and things like that?
I'm not. I'm not. I definitely don't cater to my analytics.
Mm,
I definitely
yeah,
keep it to what I want. This is
that's
this
good.
is this is my uh this is my page, my content, uh and even I do requests from time to time, and I do answer questions and things like that. But this is fun for me.
Yeah.
Cooking is fun for me, and I never want it to feel like a gym.
Like, I gotta do this.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It definitely takes the excitement out and the creativity out when you have to just kind of like fulfill the job. So you're obviously still enjoying creating content and putting out what you think would, people would want to see
Yeah,
or just
absolutely.
whatever sparks joy.
And it's, to me, it's about creating community.
Mm-hmm.
I really like getting to know people in lives, and sharing and being vulnerable with them. I've gone through some wild times the past couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
and my the people within my community have continued to follow me throughout this journey, because there's
Yeah.
definitely been ebbs and flows in my content creation.
Mm-hmm.
Lives, you know and being able to have that the foundation of a strong community,
Mm-hmm.
um, that really helps within, when you have those lulls because of life. There's just, several others that I'm starting to, create relationships with, that are more specifically in the food scene. And then there's just people that we've met, that we've just become friends with.
Yeah. Just like talking about food,
Yeah, just talking
which is
about food.
my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Like, I just feel like you can talk about food with anybody, you know?
It's a
Um,
common denominator with every single culture.
yeah, really. Exactly. Every culture. We're all gonna sit down. If you're just gonna celebrate something, you're gonna have something to eat. It's what brings the people to the table and kind of like breaks down boundaries and stuff, So
Yeah.
yeah, that is I love like the whole community aspect. So you note that you've loved cooking since you were 4, and you watched your mom make cream puffs and pastry cream, which is like that's advanced maneuvering. So was your mom a professional chef or what was her training?
My mom didn't have any training. So my parents got married so my mom and dad got married when my mom was 19.
Oh, okay.
So 1 year out of high school.
Uh-huh.
Uh, my mom was she was just a great baker. She's absolutely self-taught.
Wow.
And cream puffs ended up being one of her specialties. And
Yeah.
she would go into the local schools and teach the home ec classes how to cook.
That's
It was
awesome.
wild. And
What
so
else was her what else was it like cream puffs and like what else did she like love to bake?
my mom's chocolate cake is, I want to say famous, but it's only, famous in our little circle. But
Yeah.
my mom's chocolate cake is insane. And her pastry crust is phenomenal.
Really.
Yeah.
So have you made her chocolate cake for My Butch Kitchen?
I have.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's listed as mom's chocolate cake.
Oh, I
And
love it.
also, I also cooked it. I also did a version of it for the Iowa State Fair.
Did you really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw this Iowa State Fair thing like fascinates me because, we don't really have, being from Florida, we don't really have like this state fair culture that you guys have. And I'm really fascinated. So you made it for the fair. Was it a competition?
It is. So there's a whole bunch of open categories for for home cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can enter the different categories. And this one was I did a two-tier chocolate cake.
Mm-hmm.
And so out of the chocolate cakes, it ended up taking third,
Oh,
which
nice.
was my first recipe I ever turned in
Yeah.
um, that I did for the Iowa State Fair. And that was fantastic.
Oh, sorry, my dog's barking. Can you hear him?
Yeah, so good.
It's life be life, so
Life be life.
just mix in Ollie. It's fine. Okay,
Did you just say Ollie?
yeah.
My dog's name is Ollie.
Shut your mouth.
He's asleep on the couch right there.
What kind of dog? Is he big and brown?
No, he's a little miniature schnauzer.
Oh, a
He's
miniature
9 months old.
9 months old? That's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, so do you have a pit bull named Quinn? Because I got one of them too.
No, we have another miniature. Actually, it's a toy schnauzer. Whose
A
name?
toy schnauzer. Haggis?
Agnes.
Oh, I'm gonna
Agnes
change her name
Pearl.
to Haggis.
She would fit in a sheep's stomach.
Yeah. That's so funny. Agnes and Ollie. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, that's so wild that we have dogs that name the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just like, what'd you say?
Yeah, that's my bud. He's he'll be 5 in December.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very, very good big brown boy.
Oh,
And we have they're both rescues. We have a little pit bull named Quinn, and she's just crazy. Like I've never had a pit bull before, but this dog was in such bad shape when I saw her at the rescue that I was like, I called my wife and I said, I'm not leaving here without this dog. And I brought her home. She was limping. She had so many things wrong with her. And my wife's like, what have you done? What is this going to cost us? And now that's mommy's baby.
yeah.
Don't even get it twisted. That's mommy's baby.
Yep.
So anyway,
I wanted to take Agnes to Michigan with me because my wife's in Arizona now on a travel contract again.
Yeah.
And she's just like, nope. Agnes is going to live in Arizona with me.
Aw. That's so she's got to have a dog. Like you got to have I would want to bring one of them too, because it's just so dog. We don't deserve dogs. Dogs are just like on another level. I love my dogs so much. In fact, their costumes are coming today for Halloween, and it's I'll put them on the pod. But I'm so excited for them. So anyway, yeah, I have to dress them up. So, but I don't know what I was talking about. What were we talking about? Oh, you're talking about your the state fair, the chocolate cake, and you got third place, which is awesome. And then what? That the bug bit you for presenting or entering into competitions at the state fair? Because we're going to talk about your other stuff too.
Yeah. So everyone told me you need to be entering things at the Iowa State Fair. I didn't even think about it until somebody mentioned it. So I entered 10 or 11 things I cannot remember, and then I placed in the top 3 for 7 of them
at the same time. Like you can enter all these things.
Yeah, so you can enter as many as you want. You can only enter so many within a particular category, but they have so many categories.
Who's judging this kind of thing? I mean, my perception of this is, it's like it's like did you ever watch Veep?
Yes.
And she's at the Iowa State Fair. Like that's my perception of the everyone's in plaid. There's lots of cowboy hats. There's jeans, tons of denim, Western cut plaid shirts, and in my mind, there's simultaneously a lot of people and not a lot of people. Like, that's my perception of it.
It's packed. It's incredibly busy. You do definitely see plenty of cowboy boots, flannel, and denim, but at the same time, it's t-shirts and shorts. Usually it's hella hot during the Iowa State.
Okay, now okay. What is hella hot? Because I saw one of your videos and you're like, oh, it's hot. I'm like, okay, I live in Florida, which is Satan's armpit, but like, tell me what hot is for you.
Usually it's in the mid 90s with
Ugh.
90+% humidity.
Okay.
For the, I would say
it's hot, but it's not Florida hot. Florida hot is like 102 with 100% humidity.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely
like
not Florida hot, but
it's like being in a.
It's hot.
What I say, it's like being in a fever-ridden mouth. Like that is Florida. It is so uncomfortable in the summertime. You want to die. But anyway, so yeah, so 90 degrees. That's good. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any formal training for cooking or?
No, I'm all self-taught.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with Julia Child and Martin Yan and Yan Can't Cook because all we had was IPTV.
Correct.
And then my mom.
Yeah, she taught you a lot about a lot. Was she like nurturing in the kitchen, like showing you how to do stuff, or was she one of those like get out of here, you know? Like
no, mom was definitely an
educator.
She was absolutely an educator.
Yeah.
And you know, I grew up on a family farm, and my mom farmed with my dad. And
what'd you guys farm?
We have hogs, cattle, and corn and soybeans up in Northwest Iowa. And so they were outside all day long.
Farming.
Yeah. And we all did. And so but we all have to eat. Well, when I was young, I actually started cooking for the family. You know, at first
they were busy.
Really, yeah. At first it was, super, simple things.
Yeah.
Running the tractors and there's definitely a lot of dangers around the farm. But after I was done with chores outside, I would come in and I would get, dinner started for the family. So
it's like a farm version of a latchkey kid.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely it was.
Yeah. So what was your go-to? So let me tell you what a latchkey kid in Fort Lauderdale, Florida makes. I had to make the boxed mashed potatoes. What did you make?
So I started, I did a lot of hamburger helper back in the day before I learned to make ground beef stroganoff.
Ooh.
Because the way my mom made it, it was, cooking truly isn't, and I this is not to sound elitist, but it's truly not that hard.
Yeah.
There's simple steps to follow. And as long as you do that, you're in good shape. You brown your onion with your hamburger and all of a sudden, love flavor, those types of things are what taught me. And, things like, Salisbury steak, a lot, fried pork chops with gravy, fried chicken with, milk gravy.
Man, dinner in your house must have been so good.
It was always awesome.
Yeah, that sounds so good. Like, sounds so like from the land,
Yeah. Yeah, and mashed potatoes, and we had baked beans with every meal.
Okay.
I swear.
Why? Is it?
It's just an easy side.
Yeah, baked beans with every meal. Oh, that's so cool. That's so interesting. Yeah, we kind of had a mixed up cultural thing in my house because my dad's parents are from Italy. So my dad he would cook Italian food. My mom cooked like American food, but a lot of like packaged stuff. So it was like, do you remember in the 90s? I don't even know if you guys know about this because you're over there making your own sauces, but do you remember Chicken Tonight?
Oh yeah.
I
remember
like
the commercial.
Chicken Tonight.
Yeah.
Simmer sauce, man. Katie, my mom, Katie loves herself a simmer sauce, man. Just brown up that chicken, throw that simmer sauce right in there. That was dinner at the Patinio house. So this farm fresh stuff sounds like really, really good.
Yeah, it was. We were really fortunate to have access to some pretty awesome stuff.
I googled the #1 fast food in Iowa, and it's Subway. What is your Subway order?
So I haven't had Subway for so long, but it's the Italian with the salami and the pepperoni and the ham.
It's called a BMT.
There you go.
I call it the bacon, mutton, and tomato sandwich. but it's not. Do you remember Princess Bride?
And I need it toasted.
A toasted BMT.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. I do the BMT also. It's Italian, so of course there's no other sandwich to me other than Italian sandwich. Like whenever I go somewhere, it's always an Italian sandwich. Like I'm not gonna get a ham and cheese. I'm not gonna get a freaking tuna. Like I'm not gonna get a BS freaking meatball sub. A meatball sub at Subway is like literally an absolute travesty. um, but I will get a bacon, mutton, and tomato sandwich.
Yes. that is my go-to. I have not eaten at Subway in.
They say it's number one. What do you think? If you had to guess in Iowa what the number one fast food place is, what would it be for you? Or what is your favorite fast food place?
Culver's.
Oh, really? Yeah, we actually just got a Culver's not too long ago. It is very good.
It is a good burger.
Yeah, it is delicious.
It's like a fast food smash burger.
Yes, it is. And then they got those custard shakes.
Yes.
And the cheese curds.
The cheese curds. See, that's another big Midwest thing.
Yes, the cheese curds. It's now these things are kind of trickling into Florida a little bit, but yeah, we just got this the Culver's with the cheese curds, and yeah, I get it. I get the whole thing. What we're gonna wrap it up in a little bit, but what is your best advice you can give for someone who wants to grow their TikTok and social media?
Be consistent. Be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok does have a lot of tools out there for, they call them insights. Mm-hmm. So you can actually look and see what's trending for hashtags and searchable items.
Oh.
And just really look and see what is trending right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're looking for viewership and whatnot, that's what's going to get you the viewers, is being within those buckets of, they're the trends.
The trends, yeah.
Yeah. So doing your own spin on it, since we're talking about cooking, mm-hmm. Your own spin on the cucumber salad, or your own spin on, TikTok ramen went for the longest time, or the feta pasta. Mm-hmm. Doing your own spin, strangely enough, will get you the views. But and if it's consistent, it'll continue throwing you out into that algorithm.
Yeah.
And then when you can, go live and be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. I think we've seen over the last 6 months a lot of content creators getting caught in a lot of misnomers. They've showed that they haven't represented themselves, in an inauthentic way.
Yes.
And what my mom always told me is, if you tell the truth, you have nothing to remember.
It's true. Yeah, she's right about that.
So just be yourself. And then the other thing that, when I quickly learned is everybody has an opinion.
Yes.
And they are keyboard warriors, are very, very loose with their opinions and their thoughts. My number one rule is, and this is my, anybody can do whatever they want. I don't engage.
Even if it's a comment on a...
I will delete the comment.
Really?
Absolutely. Because it's just bringing, in my opinion, and it brings in negativity.
Yeah.
And I'm 45 years old. I have heard, and we live in such a negative society. There's only so many things that I can control, and that's one thing that I can control.
Yeah, it's your mental sanity.
People do not need to hear, people's negative comments. And I'm not talking about, that recipe looks like trash, or, I'm talking about actual, really
stuff they say about us.
Yeah, like a very egregious.
Yeah. Well,
and inflammatory statements. I just automatically.
Yeah. And TikTok is very, they'll just kick out a comment. If it, like for instance, I got a comment kicked out. I violated community guidelines, and here's how I did it. Elon Musk launched his robots, and I said, is it bad that I want to kick that robot in the chest because Elon Musk is such a douche? And they deleted it. They said you violated community guidelines. And I was like, oh, come on. It's not even that bad.
Yeah. One of my mutuals, he I violated me. It got reversed, but it was a recipe and looked fantastic. I said, man, you're killing me with this.
Oh, and now
guidelines violation.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll get like, oh, is that a man or a woman? Blah, 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 whatever. So I always respond with, it's your mom. But then the comments, it goes up the algorithm. It makes your video continue because you're responding to comments or whatever. So the really bad ones, I let TikTok delete them, and then the ones that are like I can just kind of have fun with, I do. Yeah, because
every once in a while,
I'm gonna admit, like I think it's fun. Like I enjoy like the trolls. They come for me, and I'm like, oh no, it's who is it? That's your mom.
Yeah. So I every once in a while on live, I get a little spicy.
Yeah. The lives are, I get it too. And also the lives, like you really, you get like 10 or 15 followers every time you go live, and if you're doing something. I mean, I'm sure it's probably more for you. I've got like 1,500 followers, so I've like not really a whole lot. So when I go live and I'm cooking something, I usually get, a lot of followers. It is very hard though when I add my product to the live, like if I add one of my pro seasonings to the live, if I leave for 1 second, I get a violation, because one time I was cooking and I was like, oh, I need this ingredient, and I ran out to my outside fridge and it was like violation. You have to be, if you're attaching a product to your live, you have to like literally just be there, blah 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 blah, like blabbering on and on and on. It gets
really
exhausting. Yeah. So, but when I do it without, if I'm just naturally cooking, it's much easier. It's much it's less stress. So but yeah, definitely the lives are good to get more followers, I think.
They're fantastic. Going live is key to continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's good. It's a little chit chat. You're just sitting there. I seen you like drink coffee by the lake and stuff like that, and that's always like, it's always really nice. It made me go, oh man, I really want a lake house, man. Like, I want to be Sarah when I grow up.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to go. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, so you won the cookies barbecue sauce. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Cookies barbecue sauce barbecue competition at the Iowa State Fair with your short ribs. And so we're gonna play a game I call 86 or 68 barbecue edition, because I seen that you like barbecue, and my game is 86 or 68. 86 means get rid of it, right? 68 means keep it, and this is barbecue edition. Do you want to play a game with me?
Let's do it.
Okay,
love it.
All right, so this is 86 or 68. 86 means get rid of it. 68 means keep it. Barbecue edition. Okay. Charbroil grills.
68.
68. We are keeping it. Traeger grills.
68.
68. We love it. Here's a good one. Smoked bologna logs.
68.
Oh, she loves it. Okay.
Yeah,
Have you tried it? Have you done it?
Absolutely.
Where do you get a bologna log from?
You can go, just go to the local deli.
And you go, give me the whole thing.
Just ask for, nobody needs a whole log, but go ask for a 4-inch.
How much do you get? 4 inches.
4 inches.
Give me 4 inches of log.
4 inches of bologna log, and then you can score the outside of it, rub it, and then smoke it.
So what do you do with it after that?
Slice it up for sandwiches.
Sandwich. Okay, good. All right, the big green egg. 86 or 68?
68.
She loves it. Okay. Charcoal grills. I think this whole list is probably going to be 68, but we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Charcoal grills.
68.
68. Blackstone grills.
86.
Okay, we found one.
Yeah.
Blackstone grills. We're not a big flat grill.
I'm a flat grill person. I think the evolution of, and I have 2 of them.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to switch to stainless tops on them.
Really?
I want to switch out the actual part.
It's cast iron now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to switch to do they have that? Do they sell that?
Yeah, you can buy replacements for them.
Oh wow, it's probably super expensive, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so Blackstone, if you're listening, we need you to sponsor Sarah's My Butch Kitchen, because She has got many, many followers and is willing to make so many pancakes on that it'll be staggering for you, Blackstone. Okay, Komodo grills, 86 or 68.
Considering that I already kept the green egg, I'm gonna 86 that one.
We're gonna get rid of the Komodo. We got the green egg. What do we need that for?
That's right.
Using mustard as a binder.
68 it. I use mustard a lot for binders. I mean, mustard, mayo, W sauce. Yes. You know, you can use it all.
What was the last one?
Worcester sauce.
Oh, Worcester sauce. Okay. Yeah. As a yeah, good. I love sauce as a binder. It's makes it stick. Okay, gas grills.
68 it. Keep
68.
It they all have their purpose. Yeah.
I don't know. This is a brand, I think. Z Grills.
Yeah, Z Grills is another brand. They do generic. They're kind of the generic of the smokers, like the Amazon brand.
Oh, okay.
They're a couple $100. I've never used one, so I don't know the quality. So I'm gonna 86 them.
We're gonna get rid of it. Okay.
Yep.
Smoked fish dip.
68.
68, of course.
Yeah. I've lived in Alaska, so using halibut dip, smoked halibut, smoked salmon bellies. Phenomenal.
Oh, the bellies are the best part to smoke.
Yeah.
All right, next grill.
We're gonna 68 it because I have one.
You got one?
Yeah.
How many grills do you have?
So you have to understand that I live.
I love when a sentence. Hold on. I love when a sentence starts out with that. You have to understand. Okay, go. Help me understand why you have so many grills.
I live between 3 places.
Okay. That makes sense now.
So I've got a Traeger, I've got a Pit Boss commercial, and Pit Boss portable. I've got 2 Blackstones. I've got Next grill and a Charbroil gas grills because I got at the lake. So I have all these things, but they're different locations based on what I'm doing. So,
what's your favorite one?
The most consistent and that I use the most would be my Pit Boss commercial.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm actually in the market for a grill, so I'm gonna like pump you a little bit more for that after this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually have 2 Pit Boss smokers, but my Pit Boss commercial, I can run it, and it is the most consistent temperature.
Yeah.
And the smoke ring that I can get on brisket is nuts.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're saying, what's it called? Pit Boss commercial.
The Pit Boss commercial series.
Perfect. So if you're out there at Pit Boss and you're listening, Sarah and me, we both need she needs one for each house, first of all. So she needs 2 more, first of all.
Yep.
And I just need one because I got 1 house.
Yeah, I want the commercial vertical smoker next from Pit Boss.
Okay.
For listening.
Pit Boss, you heard that? Right here. And on Nikki Talks Food. Okay, that was 86 or 68 barbecue edition. Okay, one last thing. So I usually do food news. Do you want to stick around for food news?
Yeah, I want to hear the food news.
Okay, let's hear the food news. Okay, I did it TikTok version of food news. I try and whoever my guest is on, I always try and make a bespoke food news segment for them. So here's my food news. I got, so all right, TikTokers are unhappy with Vital Farms, the egg company. How it all started is, according to Food and Wine magazine, in 2021, a consumer lawsuit was filed against Vital Farms, alleging that the company misled customers to believe its hens were treated more ethically than they actually are. Have you heard about this on TikTok?
I have not.
No? Yeah, it seems to be a lot of egg talk. When I go to the grocery, I don't know if you have the same, you've got like the farm aspect to it too. When I go to a grocery store to buy eggs, my lizard brain, the downstairs brain is like humming away, trying to figure out which hen was the happiest. I'm always considering their mental well-being and it's not even like, it's just an innate thing at this point where I'm like, I don't know if I should go for the most expensive one. Does that mean that it's the most humane one? I don't know. I have this whole like inner monologue going on in my brain when I'm searching for eggs. So social media users indicate that PETA is responsible for the suit, but Asher Smith, the director of litigation for the nonprofit, clarified for Food and Wine that the PETA Foundation lawyers assisted plaintiffs and their lawyers in filing a lawsuit and briefing a motion to dismiss. All that said, content creators want to know why PETA ended up with a $292,000 settlement, because then that kind of is, to them, that's the smoking gun, is that they say that PETA sued Vital Farms and then they settled for this amount of money. However, PETA says no, that was from a different suit. So details are sketchy here. The question is Vital Farms treating the chickens humanely? Eggs from Vital Farms are labeled pasture raised and certified humane. The term pasture raised is not regulated in the United States, but certified humane is. The latter means that hens have access to at least 108 square feet each. Each chicken has 108 square feet, or they each have access to this 108 square feet. Don't know. As Vital Farms notes, and there are other qualifications that must be met that qualify, that like quality of diet and sanitary living spaces. So this egg debate has been going on for like a really long time. Is this something that is in your universe?
So not within the farm universe or anything like that. The definitions are really wild.
Yeah.
You go down a rabbit hole with beef, particularly about grass fed and, or when milk is labeled antibiotic free. All milk is antibiotic free. I mean, we could go down.
Is it?
It is. Because
the milk is, but the cow is not.
So they have to, because antibiotics only stay in your system so long.
Oh.
So they essentially pump and dump, any.
Meaning the cow, they milk the cow, they get rid of that one that had the antibiotics in, and then they.
That's correct.
Okay, I get it.
And so, and grass fed, the definition of that, if you're ever really bored and want to go down that rabbit hole, I highly, highly suggest you do. But I've never really thought too much about the whole egg thing. I always feel, I always buy the brown eggs. I don't know why.
Because they're whole wheat.
Right. Absolutely. And every once in a while, I'll buy the local, if I can get my hands on them.
Local eggs, far superior to any egg. Yeah. Like I feel too.
They're delicious. You don't even want to bake with them.
No, and they're usually like they've got room and they're running around in the sunshine. But the grocery store eggs, that's where it's like, there's all these semantics as far as like it's got free range versus cage free. Like they were finding out that cage free was just like they were out of cages, but they're all cram jam all in this little warehouse,
right?
Like this, and it's it's like a for the consumer, we're constantly having to read between the lines, right? Yeah. So, okay, so I have another article. Whippets, which were whippets were popular when we were little babies. Oh, the TikTokers have figured out how to do whippets, and it's trending as a challenge. I don't think they call it whippets though. I just saw that and I was like, oh, that's a whippet. Which, disclosure, and I'm going to assume Sarah's most likely against huffing of any kind or as a means to get intoxicated or high. You can damage your brain that way. Sarah's wife is a nurse. I'm sure she would just come in here and be like, I shouldn't do that. They're going to wreck their brain or whatever. It's not safe. You shouldn't do it. But a company called Galaxy Gas has pulled some products off the shelf. The company specializes in food and beverage N2O for use in foamy desserts and drinks. I checked their website. There's a heavy disclaimer where you have to pledge to use their products only for food and beverage before entering the site. This is why we can't have nice things. Okay, we're just out here trying to make a mousse. Okay, and a foamy drink. And the TikTokers have figured out how to do what we used to call hippie crack. So that wraps us up for food news TikTok edition. And any last thing? I'm gonna put Sarah's socials on in the description of the podcast. But Sarah, anything last you want to promote or leave with the listeners so they can find you, or what do you got?
No, I'm just so thankful that we found each other. it's bizarre we didn't find each other before.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for having me on. Yeah, you can find me at mybutchkitchen.com. And all I have to say is, everybody, just be you, and be the best person that you can be.
I love that.
You know, it's so much easier to be nice.
It's so much less effort to be nice to someone.
It is.
And just put your anxiety aside and just get out there and be you. Be happy.
Right.
Well, thanks, Sarah. It was absolute pleasure talking to you. This episode will be out Wednesday. We drop every Wednesday, so look out for this episode. We'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening, guys. I want to encourage you to head over to Spotify, head over to Apple Podcasts, or head over to YouTube and give us a rating. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Or when I say us, I mean me. Let me know how I'm doing. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review.